When we talk about climate justice, we're talking about racial justice, food justice, economic justice, health justice, housing justice, agricultural justice. These are our climate solutions. These are the projects of the people's climate justice budget.
South Bronx people have always been activists in nature, and folks had to be resilient, had to find their own ways of dealing with adversity, but also creating context and bringing in the strength and richness of our cultures. One way that this happened was through community gardens. I remember as a child being awakened by roosters because people were starting to clear out these lots, create these gardens, create things that felt like home. My homeland is Puerto Rico, and many of the people in my community at that time were from Puerto Rico and from the South. I'm Nancy Ortiz Surun. I'm the co-founder, farmer coordinator, and creative educator at La Finca del Sur, South Bronx Farmers. My pronouns are she, her, and ella. The farm, La Finca del Sur, is located 12 blocks from where I was raised. For 16 years, La Finca del Sur has been creating community programming, access and space and education for raising more healthful food to create better justice and better variety and health quality, health equity in the food system. To have a resiliency hub in a place like that is just a reflection of the spirit of the people, of how we have sort of reshaped the landscape, and it signifies that people are going to be able to continue throughout disasters. During Sandy, we flooded and all of that. So a resiliency hub allows us to be who we are. I see it as like the seeds. I see this investment primarily driven by Nos Quedamos.
Hi, my name is China Copperstone, and I work with Nos Quedamos as the research analyst on the environmental justice team. And one of the projects that I'm supporting with is the activation of 3 resiliency hubs. One is at La Finca Del Sur Community Garden, one is at the Bronx Sunshine Community Garden, and one is at the headquarters of Nos Quedamos, which is also an affordable residential building called Palacio del Sol. Resiliency hubs are an action to advance what these community members are already doing in the case of emergencies, in the case of everyday resources as well. The South Bronx has one of the highest death and disease rates from asthma in the country. It has the highest rate of childhood asthma in New York City. There are 4 peaker plants. It's encircled by highways. The history of Nos Quedamos is a story of resilience in itself. The people who were present in the South Bronx, they knew that they had to do something for themselves to stay together and to collectively combat the inequities that were coming through redlining, through the South Bronx burning, and through city planning initiatives that were trying to displace people who lived in this area. So the name itself, We Stay Nos Quedamos, is a true testament to the community members of the South Bronx collaborating to ensure that the people who were there remain there.
Developers and politicians have been playing a waiting game with us for a long, long time because these mega structures, luxury housing, they don't appear out of nowhere. So now we have these huge developments that you can see from the farm that were not there when we started it 15 years ago. So that's why it's important to have things like a resiliency hub that can really support the structure of community gardens, of community-based gathering spaces. In terms of economics, it is important. It anchors people. It gives people a way to think about how can we take these products and turn it into a viable living. Very soon, with all this new expansion, are we talking about service industry jobs? Are we talking about making smoothies for the people, in the luxury buildings? Or are we talking about very real training in areas like technology, in areas like agricultural stewardship, how we can get workforce skills or how we can stay healthy?
The Resiliency Hub, they're community-led spaces and community-serving spaces, and they are purposefully placed within communities that have been under-resourced. And what's so great about the Resiliency Hub is that it's a sustainable development. And what the sustainable infrastructure brings is solar energy, rainwater harvesting, so that gardens have access to water, which is something that they don't have at the moment. And there is also free broadband Wi-Fi access, which helps confront the injustice of digital equity.
I think one of the things that has always been in the vision for La Finca is sustainability and expansion to be able to operate year-round. So with the funding and this resiliency hub, we are sort of creating a context of possibility that here is this thing in our neighborhood, right here in our community. It creates a lifeline. The fact that we have this new technology on site will create a potential job development program for youth and other interested people in the area. Within the next 5 or 10 years, I would like to see La Finca be able to expand to year-round operation, to offer even more opportunities for engagement and for economic, social, and food justice for our communities. But we need partnerships. It's a small group of people doing tremendous work.